Hi, good day to everybody who is tuning in now. And I hope you have a great 2022 so far. And it's so great to see all the speakers back again. I hope you guys have a great 2022 as well. Today we will be talking about the topic on monthly photography session. Okay, it will be a monthly session that will run from February all the way to December monthly for 2022. So as for today's monthly photography session, it's titled Through the Lens, Freediving Photography in Association with Scuba Diver Australasia. So today we have Pepe, who is the moderator. I'm Carter, the host, and we have our great panelists and speakers, who is Tobias and Bastian. So without further ado, we would like to zoom into the speakers sharing about how they achieve their underwater shots through what kind of techniques and some of the challenges they're facing. And the speakers itself will be sharing their own work through presentation style format. So without further ado, Carter to Pepe, please.
Well, hello everybody. So good to see you back in ADEX. Even we are remote, we always together, so it's great. We are connecting from different parts of the world. I'm from Bali. Tobias, where are you?
I'm in Germany actually, and it's super early. It's absolutely not my time. It's 6 a.m. in the morning. I only usually go up this early if I'm going to dive.
Okay, and Bastian, where are you connecting from?
Hey guys, so I'm in Maldives right now, in the South Maldives. So it's not a fake background, it's real. So pretty lucky to be here, and it's 10 a.m. so can't complain about the time.
Are you in Formula in the Maldives?
Say again?
In Formula in the Maldives with the tiger sharks?
No, I'm full sauce at the Raffles Maldives. I think you've been there already.
Yeah, I know this place.
Great. So today I'm going to be your moderator. So we are going to be talking about freediving and photography. And so we have two incredible guests. You have seen them. Probably everybody knows you guys, but just in case, we have Tobias Friedrich. He's an incredible photographer. He's been shooting for a very long time, from 2007. Correct me if I'm wrong. Many awards in his shoulders, and I just got here like 50 awards, with nearly 30 of them being the first place. So you're talking a very, very experienced professional in the field. Of course, his work has been published in many magazines and newspapers. So we got to see all his adventures. I know you, Tobias, personally, because we have good times in ADEX, around ADEX. So I'm very, very, very keen to see a little bit your works, a selection of your works, and to listen to what happened when you were shooting that. I personally love your Greenland shots. They were pretty stunning. And then today we are gonna also have, we're very lucky to have Bastien Soleil with us. Bastien, there's something very, very interesting about his past that we shared together. We were designers, graphic designers. So he was a graphic designer, right? Or working in the advertising world in 2010. And then from 2017 and previously, he was doing a lot of projects, connecting with Blue Netty project that freedivers we know very well. And we've been following a lot of your creativity together with your team, with Nadim and everybody, and creating some fashion brands with consciousness in the environment and a lot of interesting things. Also we're going to talk about photography, but he has a very interesting movie, Tango, got awards as well. And I would like you to talk a little bit about that, even though it's a little bit off topic. This is an incredible movie. You haven't watched it. You can go to his website and watch it all together. Incredible underwater performer, and all shots on a Red-Hole. Myself, you don't know me, so my name is Pepe. I'm a former competitive freediver. That was a long ago. Freediving instructor as well, and I've been shooting in freediving for a very, very long time. So now I'm swapping a little bit on scuba diving as well, shooting in scuba diving. So I'm getting to know both worlds. The plan for today, we're going to be sharing some photos. We'll start first, guys, and I will just give you Tobias after me. You can share your work. I'm just going to give a brief introduction of some of my works to just warm up. and then pass you guys like the whole screen. So without further ado, let me have a little short presentation of some. Right, I don't know if you can see, guys, my screen. Can you?
Yes, all good. The screen is good.
Cool. So this is free diving with a camera, and this is scuba diving with a camera. Just for you guys to see the two different approaches to the underwater shooting world. Well, being a free diver and bringing a camera together is a very interesting. It gives us a very interesting approach. Or for me personally, I would like to share the concept of dimension or movement underwater, which is a teeny tiny bit different. While when I'm scuba diving, when I'm free diving, I can move freely. Yes, the sessions are shorter, but I'm more sharp. I'm sharper when I'm shooting. I have it in my head. And so I just go and get my settings ready and go and shoot and capture what is happening. While that was free diving. While I'm scuba diving, I kind of plan everything more, and it's a tiny bit a different experience. Many people knows about when we shoot in wildlife, and I want you guys to tell me your opinion, that we can get very close to wildlife, and especially some types of wildlife, and get, I would say, a different approach to them. They are more calm, they let us stay closer, and there's more chances to get different angles, like in this manta ray, for example, that I showed, that I particularly like, just because I was free diving and I could just swim with this manta for a while until I get this shot. Now, into the free diving world, many people, when we talk about free diving, they will go immediately to competitions. And I shot personally a lot of competitions in my life because, again, that's my background. I studied in this world. It's just a free diver getting ready in the line with all the tension of doing a very deep dive, with the judges telling him, giving the countdown, and he's just there holding everything. He's also getting ready to do the dive. Or free divers in the middle of their performance, like this one. It's a Japanese free diver. I shot this in Sabang, that's in Pulawai, Banda Aceh in Indonesia. So sometimes when we shoot competitions, it looks a little bit the same for some free divers, because just free divers going down, going up. This is sports photography, right? So to get creative, find different angles, and so you need to spend hours and look very close to what they're doing. In this case, for example, this photo, I like it because we have this little school of backfish around, while the free diver is completely concentrated and getting ready for the free falling part of the dive, which is where you just don't move and let yourself sink all the way to the bottom. Now, free diving and free divers, and I wanted to introduce these not just as us shooting while free diving, but our models being free divers as well, and how these will open a full creative, a new creative world to many of us, the underwater lovers. So shooting with just people that they are around holding the breath, they have no gear. It gives us this aesthetical, beautiful connection to the water that we can capture with our cameras. This one, for example, that's in Mexico, I had to dive first. So I dove inside of a cave. I hold my position, hold my breath, while my models dove, and they started like interacting in this very beautiful environment. So we capture this like a little bit spooky scene, but I really like it. We can also go a tiny bit more expressive, even though play into the commercial side of photography and working with our flashes. While we're freediving, this is what I'm showing you guys, this photo, because that's been shot with flash. And again, Tobias and Bastien, I would like you to mention a little bit like the difference between ambient light and using flash light. When we are freediving with the camera, we don't have so much time to do many corrections, so we need to know a little bit how to balance the light with the ambience and what we're doing with the strokes. So that will take a little bit of practice. Now we can definitely achieve the same results as any scuba diver. Plus, we can repeat the dives endlessly and discuss with our models what we want to get these more expressive shots. Now, on the topic of freediving models, and that's something that we were all working a lot. For example, this shot, I was last year I was in a TV show called Aqua Challenge. So we were like shooting. It was a reality show, and we were shooting underwater models and underwater photographers competing. So the underwater models, they had a very, very hard challenge just to be always free diving and posing for underwater photographers. In this case, the photographers, we were scuba diving. And so no communication. We were just waiting for the models to come. And they were having the whole hard work of holding the breath and giving the nice postures. And if you guys don't know, it's really, really hard for the model to free dive and to look natural. So that's something very important that, I opened the discussion to talk about modeling and your experience, guys, with models, and how do you help them to achieve, the photo you have in mind, how they can train better and how they can look more natural. My last photo today, I really want to be very brief. Is this one is the one that I used for the poster. And again, freediving can let us, shoot in so many scenarios. We can shoot in the ocean, open ocean, as you saw, guys. We can shoot freedivers in competitions. We can shoot wildlife. And also we can create a little fine art. And this is a shot in a pool and create our own fantasy world in these pools, playing with lights and getting a freediver that maybe is not ready to go deep or not trained enough to go into the ocean. We can still create and craft incredible images with people that are not that experienced in a confined environment. So keep everybody safe and keep our creativity going. And that's it. That's it for me today, guys. I would like to pass my turn to Tobias and looking forward to hear all your beautiful, incredible stories, Tobias. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Peter, and really nice work, I have to say again. Should I share my screen and start the presentation? Yeah?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, okay, good. Just 1 second, please. So I hope you can all see my screen now, is that right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Good, yeah, exactly, yeah. So I think most of you, or maybe also from the viewers and listeners, have seen my series or know that I've done a lot of dives in the Arctic, especially in Greenland and East Greenland. I've been known a little bit for these shots as well, and I've been there, as I said, 3 times. 1 time in summer and 2 times in winter time, which means in March or April. And one of the times, or the last time in March 2019, I had the chance to go there actually with a freediver, with Anna von Bertischer. She is a German freediving champion, a former freediving champion. She set about 33 national records in the past. And now she's not really retired, but retired from competitions, I would say. She's very lovely. She's very nice. And yeah, luckily, I had the chance to go there with her, and we planned a little bit as well. I'm not a freediver, I have to say. I mean, I can freedive a little bit, and I trained it in the past as well. But my main thing is definitely to dive on scuba. So that was the biggest challenge, is actually how do we understand each other? How do we communicate? How do we communicate the shots before? As you said, people, before when you're scuba diving, you have to talk before, and then underwater, you only can barely communicate just a little bit with the eyes, maybe with the hands. But I definitely had to dive up again and again to tell her what was happening. But in the end, I will come back to that soon. We were a good team, I guess. First of all, Greenland, you can't reach Greenland in winter. I'm just with the boat or with anything. We have to fly there actually to East Greenland from Iceland usually, and then you land in Greenland on a little airport island, and then from there, because you can't take a boat from this small island, and you also can't go there are no streets or anything. Yeah, so with a snowmobile, you would need around 2 days to go around the fjords to go to the town, which is called Tasiilaq. That's like the capital in East Greenland with about 2,000 people living there. And you have to take a helicopter from there. It's just a 10-minute flight, but it's really, really beautiful to see the landscape there. And this is actually the fjord where we were diving. The lower part of the image is already inside the fjord, and the more outside you go, on the left side in the back, there is the ice from the open ocean. You can already see some icebergs drifting here. They are going loose from glaciers, which are more upper north, and then drifting here around the bay. And exactly on those icebergs, we wanted to dive and to take some shots. These are the holes we made. We drilled into the ice, which can be like up half a meter thick. And here you can already see Anna in the background preparing to go into the water. This is a shot from above. You can see everything is prepared. We're having lines as well here for the divers. This is one shot of Anna actually digging a hole. We had several holes around these iceberg on the frozen fjord where we dived, and this is how it looked when Anna was in the water. And I have to say, I was of course in a full dry suit, but she only had her 6mm freediving wetsuit on, and the water temperature was -2 degrees in the water, which is like the coldest what you can get in salt water. Where the freezing point is -2. So we were all like that. Our limiting factor was definitely time in the water, because for Anna, of course, she always had to dive down and up. She was getting into movement a little bit. That of course warmed up her body a little bit, but of course it was limiting. So what we did is we tried it out several times, and we saw that it's really working well. So we let loose of the line actually, yeah. So it was only me as the only scuba diver there under the ice without the line or without any line, and Anna as well. So that was actually a bit risky, but not really, because Anna also was super professional, and even though she could hold her breath for up to 6 minutes, we said for safety reasons it's maximum 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, so that in any case she wouldn't find back to the hole, which was one time the case. I come back to this in a second as well. She would have enough air and not panic, which is obviously the most difficult thing to deal with under the ice here, because if you don't find the hole back where you have to go back to get a breath, then you have a problem. Of course, I was there as well, so I always had a look at her, finding her way back to the hole. And we of course we had several holes, as I said, several security holes around the icebergs, so that she can always go back with this. So this is one of the shots as well, which I find is very nice from that series. And we also, regarding communication, we also said before we never knew actually how the iceberg was looking like if we were drilling holes on a new iceberg. So I had a quick check on the iceberg and then explained and came back to the surface, explained it to Anna a little bit, and to explain her where she has to dive, or where it would be good, and where I'm positioning myself. And because of the water was very clear, it was really good underwater, so she could immediately see me under the ice. There's actually the first half meter, and that's an interesting fact. You don't see anything because there's like a little fresh water layer in the first meter when you go down, and there you can see absolutely nothing. Yeah, it's very fuzzy. You can't see it really. Yeah, and only if you're below this meter of fresh water, this layer of fresh water, if you're in the salt water, then you can have a very good visibility here underwater. So, anyways. We were doing this a couple of times every day. Anna was really brave and lasted up to 20 minutes in this water, 25 minutes sometimes as well, and also for 2 sessions on the per day. So every time or every day we had like a little house, like a little apartment in that town, and every day we had to get all the logistics up to the ice. That means all the dive cylinders, the gears, the camera gear, etc., etc. We have to go to the ice onto the fjord to find a good place where we can dive. And of course, we had some help of a snowmobile, which also brought some equipment there. But the rest, the last meters, the snowmobile also couldn't go, and we had to carry everything as well. Anna was also experimenting a little bit with lights, so I gave her one of my video lights to reach another effect and a little bit different views here, to have more creative poses as well. Yeah, because after some time we were getting the same shots again and again, and we wouldn't want to produce the same stuff all over with one iceberg here, but one iceberg there, to do some differences. Yeah. And I also one time turned the camera around, or like rotated it in the end afterwards, of course, to give another perspective, as you can see here. So here it seems that Anna is sitting on the iceberg, but it's actually turned 180 degrees around, just to give that effect that she would be sitting on it. Also on the right side, there were actually some particles of my strobe going into, like, so some very little reflections, some very little backscatter, but I really like the picture as it looks like that Anna would be looking into the stars. Yeah, very romantic. Yeah, but anyways, the coldness was the most challenging part. As you can see, the feet and the hands on the ice to warm up was sometimes really difficult, especially if you had wind. So one day, we had minus 17 degrees outside with really strong wind. So considering the wind chill factor, with this, we almost had minus 30 degrees on that day. So there, we both did one dive, and afterwards there was absolutely no chance to warm up on the ice. We didn't have a tent or anything warm, no shelter where we could go in. We were just standing on the ice, as you can see here. If it was a nice sunny day with not much wind, it was okay to warm up on the ice between the dives. But afterwards, like on really cold days, as you can see here, all the equipment is immediately frozen. The cameras are immediately frozen with the salt water on top, and also we were also very cold afterwards. So here's some making of shots as well. From this, I also did one dive with one diver here with another diver with a group, and he had his video lamps or lights, and I explained to him beforehand actually, yeah, that I would, if it's possible, would be possible for him to just go underneath the iceberg and just light up the lights onto the top to give a little bit of effect here. Yeah, good. So this is the last picture from my side. So you can see the comparison. I was here in full dry suit and I was getting really cold, especially after half hour or 40 minutes in the water and not moving, waiting for Anna. Yeah, of course, I was also communicating with her and going up back and forth, but she was the real hero from the story, just in her 6mm suit in, as I said, -2 degrees. So I hope you liked it. I'm stopping the presentation now. Any questions?
That was crazy. That was crazy. So cold. Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but you're in winter, but I think Basti and I, we still like in very warm conditions, right? Diving. Cannot even imagine.
Yeah, it was really cold. But it's worth it. Yeah, I mean, you don't get icebergs in the Indian Ocean, for example. Of course.
No, congratulations. The work is absolutely stunning. I knew those photos, and I'm fascinated with the iceberg perspective and natural light, the combination with the light, and then just the perspective, right? When you have the freediver, and then you see the scale of the iceberg, and the whole challenge that you just explained to us is crazy. So, all right, Bastian, we would like to give you your turn and listen to your stories. I think I love your Icarus series and all your approach to classical painters. Like Caravaggio, the perspective. So really, really looking forward to hear your work.
Great. So first, I'm a bit freezing after all those pictures. It was really amazing. Bravo, Tobias. So before to start to show you some picture, I just need to come back on my background. As you say, is a bit special because basically I created an advertising company when I was 21. And I did this, I ran this company for something like 10 years. So I have a huge background into image, art, communication, design, and everything. It was really like what I learned for during the 20 to my 30s. So I took all this image in my head for 4 years, and basically I started photography and other photography very late in my life. It was only like 4 years ago. But because I have all this image in my head, you know, it's not like if I was starting from zero. I have inspiration, I have many things. And when I start to do freediving, I become instructor in Koh Tao, like 5-6 years ago. And I start to realize that this universe, underwater universe, was, of course, very nice for the body and the mind, but also so beautiful for the eyes. So what I was witnessing was really like, wow, that is something. The ray of light that we see so many times in picture is something, it's real, it's never something that we had. And I was really touched by this beauty, this aesthetical that I was finding underwater. So quite fast, I realized that, okay, I need to buy a camera and I need to start to do something with that. So I was lucky to have a good mission at this time to make some good money. So I was able to afford a Nauticam housing plus a nice Sony with the nice lenses. And at the beginning, I was, okay, let's start with simple things. So fortunately, we have the COVID arrive, so you have the lockdown. So finally, people have nothing to do in Koh Tao. So I just asked people to want to start to pose for me. And slowly, I start to build not just random picture. Okay, you go down, I take picture, and we see what's going on. I start to build like a real project. So the first picture that I will show you is exactly this. For me, it's the first real picture that I did. And I meet Saint Sebastian. I don't know if you know this painting, this saint who was like very famous. And this saint was a saint that people was worshipping during the plague. So as it was during the first lockdown, it was quite interesting to work this way. So this guy was an MMA champion. So quite tough guys, a lot of tattoo. And I wanted just this image with the ropes keeping it on the pole. And for me, it was really like, it was starting to be what I wanted to do. So before to go down, I really show him what I wanted. And we built this picture with really like, for me, really cool and very powerful. So it was my first real step into an underwater picture with an idea, not just let's do something and we see. Then time went and I start to be more and more precise in what I wanted. And I did this picture not long time ago, but for me it's like a big step too into this underwater picture, very dramatic. Usually I share them on Instagram with a bit sad because we can't see all the details, but now I hope you can see the details. We can see the last bubble coming out of her mouth, and it's very dramatic picture, and it's really what I want to share into my picture, mainly in this case where we have this wreck who have nothing to do inside the water because it's pure composite, so it's pure waste, it's pure pollution. So I just wanted to show this idea that if we keep going this way in terms of ecology, it's not very great for the humanity. So that is for me a very powerful image. Then come for me the time of Tango. Tango was for me like a huge challenge. I never filmed underwater. I never did anything. Basically, I never film also on land. And because we have the COVID time and the freediver and the dancer Ariadna have nothing to do. And first, I just wanted to do a picture with her. And because we have time, and the Y40 welcome us and say, okay, you can come anytime to do this picture, we decided to go from just a picture to like a short movie, basically. And we spent like a week on dry to prepare and to start to make the choreography and work. So it was a lot of preparation. And why for me Tango is so important? Because it showed me how the preparation, rehearsal is so important into a picture. No, I don't like to spend 2 hours in the water to do one picture. each time I do a picture, now we spend like 1 hour on dry. I do sketching, I do drawings, and I show to the model here what I want. Then we'll work it on dry and we'll start to take the pose and understand exactly what we are doing. Then we always do the day before the shooting a rehearsal with a wetsuit, because you know the problem of the models. Also, if the water is 20 or 28, the model will be cold very fast. So when the models start to be cold, the apnea start to be shorter, the pose start to be a bit more like powerful, and it's a lot of time waste. So now I really start to have this process that I learned with Tango. It's drawings, rehearsal, and then we do the shooting. And the shooting start to be very efficient. On Tango, you have to imagine that we shoot during the night, because usually you don't use artificial light, but for Tango we have no choice. So we are shooting during the night with one spot, one light was doing like this ray of light until the 10 meters where is the bottom in Y40 at this position of Y40. So we shoot during the night, and each night we shoot for 2 nights. It was 60 dives in breath hold for her and for me. So basically we were using weights, like we were doing like variable weights. We were using weights to go down. I was taking the position, holding the pose, and she was starting a movement, and 60 dives in a row. So basically we were shooting from 11 a.m. to 3, 4, 5 a.m. in the morning. So it was, for me, it was the most challenging things I ever did in my life. It was like crazy. And we did that 2 nights in a row. So basically at the end, it was 120 dive for her, for me. And you have to imagine that she have nothing on her nose to protect her water to come in. She have no mask. And if you look the video, you will see that her face never changed. Always still, never feel any pain, never. For me, Ariana did something crazy, because you can see other video underwater, but rarely you see the model going upside down, because if you go upside down, you have water going in her sinus. It's very hell. She go upside down 10 times and her face never changed. So it was really like, it was something very impressive. It was a real performance for her and for me too. So I really love this project, and I really advise people who does not know it to look at it with different angles. Keep in mind that everything is breath hold, so it's really crazy. I think each dive was around 1 minute 10 minimum. So it's really huge. After Tango, I went to the cenotes in Mexico, who are for me like the best stage for me, for my art. And I start to work this cenotes with this, his name is Julien, for like a live drawing. You know, when you start to learn drawings and painting, you take a models naked most of the time and you try to sketch it, and you try to be as efficient as possible, and you start to learn how the light work, how the muscle and the light will work. It's a really work about light and dark. So for me, it was very interesting to work with the light of the cenotes with this guy just to make tests. So basically this picture is pure test to come to that. That it's a very interesting picture, as you can see. Also with this light here, I will tell you more about it. So the model, her name is Rose. She's a professional freediver instructor. Sorry for the burn, it does not bother you too much. And she's also a dancer. And basically now my choice of model is I want to work with dancer, because professional dancer can really control everything. You can see her fingers, you can see her legs, everything is just on a perfect position. So we spend, as I say, 2 days before to work on the pose, to make it absolutely perfect. On the arm, on the bow, everything just perfect position. Also here, it's a small details, but I put a mirror just in front of her fingers to increase this ray of light. So this ray of light is also natural. So this picture is really, if you look the initial picture without editing, is very, very close. Of course, it's in colors, but also because I really want to work more into art and go, I start to have some gallery who start to ask for me, and I really go to black and white to make these things way more powerful. And of course, you are speaking about Icarus, Pepe, who's for me like something that I wanted to do for a long time. is to work with these palm trees. So it seems very simple to do, but I have 3 guys to help me to do it. So you have to imagine that Rose was not able to go down with a palm on her hands. It was just impossible because she had to go down to 8 meters, find the light, and take the pose until she rises to the surface. So basically, I have 1 guy for the right wing, 1 guy for the left, and 1 guy just to help her to take the right position in the light. And then they have to run away to give me the time to take the pose. So the first pose was this rise, where Icarus, the story of Icarus. Icarus was with his father in his labyrinth, and the only way to go out was a hole in a cliff, but the cliff was with the sea below, so they cannot jump. So the father of Icarus built those wings with feather and some wax. So at one point they have to jump off the cliff. So that is when the Icarus jumped from the cliff. And Icarus, because he was very arrogant, he wanted to go very close of the sun. So he started to go up, but because the wings was made from wax, because of the heat, the wax started to melt. So here we come to the point where Icarus come very close of the sun. There is nothing add on the picture. The effect of the surface is real. It was crazy. It was really perfect. And the pose, of course, of Rose is just insane. So that is the second picture, Icarus and the sun. Then, because he come too close of the sun, come the fall. So here I break the palm leaves, and I just ask to Rose to make a big exhale to bring her down. And at one point, so she started just above the light, and as she was going down, she crossed the light. And the point here is when we have the ray of light crossing the leaves, and you can see how it becomes sharp, it's like scissor who are cutting the leaves. So it's a very powerful picture with Rose having a very nice pose. And the pose, I have the drawing, it was exactly what I wanted. So I was very, very happy and very of the result. And I think it's a very powerful image. But everything is controlled. There is no room for, yes, there is always a light. You don't control exactly how it's going to work. But now is why more I consider myself as an artist, because it's really like I build the image in my head and I want to have the result as it is in my head. So, and of course, I build the image relating to what I have in my mind. My story is a bit crazy. I make it very short, but I have a long journey behind me. And basically, if you look at the text who go with the picture, it's quite, it's always question of rising and light. So it's not only a picture, it's also a story. So I'm very happy to keep going and have more and more pictures to come that I can't wait to share with you guys.
Okay, well, that was absolutely incredible. Incredible. I love your work. I love your work, Bastien. I'm fascinated as well. Like both things. I mean, and I understand how the design vision will give you the project mindset, like understanding photography as a project. And like Tobias as well was explaining to us, like, well, we want to take a photo in Greenland, but we cannot even get there. So we need to plan everything, right? So congratulations, both of you have stunning, incredible works, and I hope the audience enjoy a lot getting to know you a little bit. And if we do have some time, I have a couple of more questions for you two guys, and maybe for Tobias, because you have the background on scuba diving. Can you tell us when or what do you think free diving can be, as a photographer yourself, free diving or some model, or having a model free diver, both ways. When do you think it will change or is necessary or will add a lot of value to your work?
Yeah, first of all, Bastian, yeah, very, very nice work. Yeah, I really enjoyed to look at it, and I knew you before. I know you're serious, yeah, and I have to say, yeah, now you explain it, and everything was wonderful to see. Yeah, so thank you very much, and thanks, Pepe, for your question. Yeah, I think that the freedivers is like the most natural aspect to add a human to an image, actually. Yeah, so of course, when I'm scuba diving, I also try to add sometimes scuba divers, also when it's not when there's not another possibility, and it's usually the most easiest way to do this, to add a scuba diver. For example, I'm doing a lot of wreck photography as well, and it's always good to have like a scuba diver, another human element into this wreck to make a comparison, also because of the size of the wreck. So it's always good to have a human element in your image. But I would say that that if you have a chance to get a freediver within your image, actually no matter what, it makes it very much more natural. Yeah. So also to the public. Yeah, because some people don't know scuba diving so good. Yeah, they don't know how deep is that. Yeah, what do I need to do with the tanks and all the things I have and the regulator? What is that? Am I breathing air or what is that? Yeah. So most of the people don't know this, and with this with the freediver, just with one breath, everybody knows immediately what that person is actually doing and what also stress it's going through and how deep it should be. So also that human and also sporty element of the image, I would say, is always adding up.
That's, yeah, for sure, for sure. I was just showing a friend like these photos that I started, like me shooting freediving and me shooting with the scuba. That photo was like the other last week. A friend took to me like, "Where are you, Pepe? I cannot see you." Like, like so, like I cannot see you. You only see like a camera and some human thing inside. Yeah, I think the connection, the human connection, that freedivers can display in your photos are definitely clearer and are stronger. They give us immediately, our brain can understand fast what's going on, right? That we are out of our environment. Right, Bastian, for you, because we are, fascinated by your artistic approach and also your background in classical art, right? We just mentioned like Caravaggio, Bernini, all your inspiration. Can you give this for people that are starting or they've been shooting for quite a while? Are they struggling about finding their own style? Personally, for me, it's a very important topic. Like, how can you find this vision that you already have? What kind of advice will you give to them to find their own voice?
No, for me, it's really the key of to have a personality into picture. It's today we see many pictures on Instagram and it's all the time the same. You have some photographer like Tony, Tons of Blue. It's a good friend, and he have a style. When you see a picture, his style. He have a personality into this picture. But today I see many people who just don't have style, and for me it's a bit sad. So for me, the best things to do is stop to look work of the others, but start to look for art. Go to things that are not related to water. It's start to like painting, sculptures, and everything. Start to build image in your head. For what I did for years, because I was working like a graphic designer, but mainly art director. So my job was really to find campaign and create pictures and things for customers. So I realized quite fast that with just what I have in my mind was not enough. If I need to create a logo or a campaign, if I just look what I had in my mind when I was 20 was nothing. So I start to understand that the only way for me to start to create was to be inspired. We can create without having picture in our mind, no matter the name of the artist, Picasso or what. At one point, you have to look for what was around him. So antique stuff, architecture, design, everything can be inspiration. Books, no matter what, and just be very open and stop. And what I'm very proud, I will say, and it's that I didn't learn anywhere. I'm a self-learner. But it's so important because I have no rules. Nobody told me, okay, things should work this way. You should work with your camera this way. No, I just try. And, that is work. It's cool. And after a week, I was working, oh, shit. But at least I try and I improve. And I just I've been very curious, and I was not in fear to try. When I asked your model to come, I was like, okay, let's try things. I don't promise you that it's going to be good, but at least we'll try something, and just trying. And slowly you will find to start your path and your way to edit picture, your way to work with colors, and your personality will born this way. I think it's very important to look and don't be scared of failing, because you cannot fail. Art is not about failing. Art is about testing and pushing a bit forward, 1 degree more, 1 degree more, 1 degree more. And this way you will you will start to find your own way, and that is cool. And it's so interesting. But yes, I say don't look. It's great what others are doing underwater, but it's just like, for me, it just brings us to the same things. And no, we have to open, always open the things and go where other does not go. And it's how we start to be very creative. Creative does not is not something that come from the sky. Yes, you have some people like Picasso who are very talented, but I repeat, Picasso, if you look at his art, he started by very classical art. He was doing like the other were doing, and slowly start to push a bit forward, and 1 degree, and then he start to have his personality. But it's a process. Creativity, I don't like when people say, I'm not creative. No, you can be creative. You just have to start to, don't be in fear of failing, as I said. You can fail.
That's a very, very good advice, yeah. And there's no failure. Just keep shooting for everybody.
I think I have a question, a little bit more technical. Okay, you know how we talk about scuba diving, underwater photography using scuba gear and free diving. Okay, then it comes down to the gear. Okay, you know how scuba diving we have unlimited air supply. I mean, up to a certain time, and also the depth. So we tend not to pay too much attention to the weight, the neutral buoyancy of the camera. So does it affect free diving? That's my question. Yeah.
May I answer? If you know, I did 1 time scuba diving in my life, and I'm not into scuba diving at all. I do understand that it's great for many things, but you know, more I learn. I never did competition, but I'm a pretty good freediver because I train every day, I teach every day. So, you know, you start to really control your body and you control your buoyancy. And for me, the key for a freediver as a photographer, it's really to control your buoyancy. And you control your body. So basically, when I go down, I really forget about my body because I know it's so well related to what I'm doing that I don't have to worry for it. So I can be into my picture. And the buoyancy of the camera, it's better if, like when I did Tango, I had to make the right balance of it because I was filming. So I needed to be very still, or else it will have moved all the time. Also, if it was in a pool, it's always moving. But when I shoot in freediving, and I think Pepe know these things very well, sometimes you went down to a position and you see that it will be better like 5 meters further. So you will run and you will kick like crazy and to find the right angle because you see the light. So you have to be so in control of your body, your buoyancy and your movement that for me, it really changed everything for the picture at the end. So buoyancy of the camera for me is not a big deal. What is the deal is buoyancy and control of your body. Pepe, what do you think of that?
Oh, we can talk about this for hours. What do I think? Okay, so basically you need to make your gear like completely natural, either for both ways, free diving and scuba diving, because I got to learn now scuba diving after doing like just like Bastien, never dive. But now it took me a year, but now I do the same things. I kind of find my own movements and I find my own sync. Now gear gets bigger, especially when we're freediving. When I started shooting, I shot with ambient light for most of my time until I started shooting with strobes. Now adding strobes to a camera in freediving is challenging because then you have another movement. But so what happened was just Bastien said, we learn how to move. We move ourselves with our gear. So it's just bigger. It's not like hydrodynamic as before, but we'll adapt things. You know, we're just gonna be in these awkward movements until we get familiar with what is going on. Also to move the strobes, or because we have to move a lot the lighting, or at least I do play a lot with lighting effects. And for that, I'm playing and I'm diving a lot. I'm playing, I'm thinking in my mind, a lighting scenario. So it gets more technical. Buoyancy is a problem when you are going for video. And there is when if you have image stabilization in your camera, that helps a lot. I did it for a long time and I shot a lot of video. And I found out that my big dome was always pushing up. And I will have to compensate. So you have two options: either put a weight and make everything more like negative, or just hold my breath and be stronger, because it's just 1 minute of every time, 1 minute and a half every time we're shooting, and then just get to know that my camera is going to do that. So how to balance it out. For video, I actually think sometimes scuba, if you have one scene, scuba can be easier, but if you want to move with a free diver, then you definitely have to go free diving. Yeah, you can improve things, but I don't think it's very relevant, buoyancy. I think we can overcome that physically.
Good question. But if is there any photography scene or the framing that some free diving photographer will want their camera to be negative? So like the shot that it's easier to be negative, or it's just neutral is the best?
It's pretty much irrelevant. I mean, we will adapt. We will go as if the only thing, if one thing that we don't do, sometimes we do, it's not the best thing to do, is like going deep. So if we go very deep to take a photo, let's say 30 meters for an extreme thing or deeper, then we'll have to carry the camera back up. So that's something to consider. Also, freediving instructors, we all say the same thing. The mental activity takes 35% of the oxygen of our bodies. So we are thinking all the time, doing things with the cameras. So if we have some equipment that is too heavy or too buoyant and we cannot control it, we haven't learned how to control it, definitely we are like half of our capacity, because we are operating a camera and we're thinking in a creative way. We're moving fast. We're doing everything wrong in that sense, right? We are not calm as freedivers. We are in action, on action. We're just always active in our minds. That takes a lot of energy. So it's better to have a gear that will fit your own type of shooting. I don't know. I see some people going with the Sonys and the small ports and domes, and I think no lights, and I say, oh my God, I kind of like that. It feels like camera is so tiny that if you achieve what you want, why to get bigger? But then I go super big, very big, because I want a full frame camera. And if I could just go to medium format, I will go to medium format, and I want all the quality. But definitely it's about adaptation. I think for freedivers, and Tobias can tell us his opinion, for freedivers is something that we think about hydrodynamics and something that we can really make it natural. We don't need to think so much, because what I just said. Tobias, what is your point here?
Yeah, as I said, I'm not a free diver, so I take most of my shots, of course, scuba diving, but sometimes, especially with marine mammals or so, you don't have any other chance and you have to take a free dive. So yes, definitely, yeah, I totally agree to this, that the camera setup needs to be very much neutral. I would say, or I would prefer like a little negative touch, yeah? So I don't want to have my housing go up in any ways. I want to have like sinking a little bit maybe. This is what I find is much easier to control. And also, as you said, yeah, shooting ambient light is much easier when you're free diving or when you're just snorkeling. For example, I've been also to the Icarus in Norway, where you actually not allowed to shoot with strobes. So you just have to take your camera as it is, and it's much easier actually without the strobes or any light arms, because the strobe arms have so much drag if you push it through the water, especially if you have a dry suit on. This creates another drag as well to it. Yeah, so it's, yeah, I would say as a tip as well, yeah, go as light and small as possible in the beginning, and then slowly get yourself up. If you need the good camera quality, like you said, Pep, that's absolutely right. If you need a good quality mid format or like a full frame format or so, yeah, then, and you have to take a big camera, then you have to do it. But I would say it's always good to have experience before with smaller setups.
Something like that. Do we have some time? I have
yes. Yes,
Okay,
please go ahead. Yes.
The last question.
No worries.
Guys,
Yeah.
if you want to throw any question, please just be my guest, okay? Just for fun, for us, because we're very serious photographers, all of us, but I want also the juicy part of our work. Do you have any time everything went completely wrong? Because we plan everything, we projects, we are creative, but sometimes everything goes completely highway, out of our control. Do you have any experience like that to share today?
Start. Personally, I don't have. I have few with story, but it's something always amazed me about underwater photography. From time to time, I do picture, like more like I would say portrait for random people who are not really freediver. And basically, I always have to teach them the basic freediving, because I don't like to stay just below the surface. I always like to bring people like to 2 or 3 meters. And it's always funny that, okay, you teach people to start to go down with no camera in front of them, and they will start to go on the line at 2 meters, and they will hold their breath for 10 seconds, and they will go up like crazy. Then you put the camera in the water, and people will reach 1 minute, 1 minute, 10 second breath hold, just because there is a camera. So that is always funny to me, that I think the connection between the size of the lungs and the camera in front, it's always funny. I would say it's mainly girls who have this magic effect with this camera. I don't know if it happens to you guys, but it's always very funny.
Guys, Tobias, I just read Aaron one was just making a comment, because he just posted some photos on ice, right? It would remind me to your talk. So he's just like, with a freediver on ice, and somebody comment like, so how freedivers can free dive on such a cold water? And he replied, it's just because they really want the picture badly.
That's actually true, yeah. I also have a little story to add up. I promised to tell a little story from Greenland as well. And actually, we really had the situation one time with Anna when she was diving to an iceberg, and the way was quite far to go to the iceberg from the hole in the ice we made. And after the picture, she swam around the iceberg a little bit in front of it for a while. She was trying to get up, but she got up too early, actually. And she was quite shallow already, and she couldn't see the hole anymore. And I already could see it from the distance that she was not going up in the right direction, that she was going up too early. And because of, you have to imagine that this is not a flat ice scenario. There are a lot of things and frozen ice, little icebergs and little particles in the water, so you can't see it really, the hole, if you're not from a perspective lower or deeper. And I was already panicking actually a little bit, because I could see, and I was like speeding to her, to give her my regulator just in case. And she was just looking at me, swimming towards her, and I was just like pointing the hole towards it, and she was just diving a little bit deeper and going towards the hole, and then just going up. So she was quite relaxed actually with this. And I would say this was actually the key, that you can't do anything of this under the ice, or maybe also in the cenotes, or in any condition where it's not really safe, where it's really challenging, especially in the coldness of the Arctic. You don't have any safety, second safety or whatever. You have to be sure in what you need to do, and you need to be a professional, I would say, as a free diver, to be able to do this. And you can't just walk in there and just do this, otherwise it could go horribly wrong. But in this case, fortunately, everything went quite well.
That is the nightmare, right? When everybody thinks about, okay, let's just go make a hole on ice, and then just the classical, like, universal nightmare will be that. So,
exactly.
That's a good story, right, guys? So I think if you want to throw any other questions, so we have any questions from the audience, I will be very happy to answer.
I think there's not much question from the audience, and the burning question I have asked. So I think if we have a bit more time, otherwise I'd like, if there's nothing more to share, I'd like to share more about the next month's topic, and then we can call it a closure.
Okay.
Any last tips that any of the speakers would like to give? A short one.
Right. For me, I'm only one tip. Just because I've just been reading an article about and linking again what Bastian was saying about style, which is something very important for me that I try to tell to new photographers every time, because they are like, okay, I want to be like this photographer or that photographer. We live in this crazy time, right? I was just reading this article about the end of photography, and as we know. Okay, from the beginning of, with the film, the big, black box cameras to digital cameras to now on. So there were this guy saying in the article, this guy went to a trip with his wife, and they took he was a landscape photographer. So he took an incredible photo of a landscape. It took him like a lot of preparation on the trip, and he took the wife as well. And then in the night, he was editing the photo, just select the best photo of all. It's like, oh man, I just got the shot I want to show to who's awake. Like, it was late in the night, and I'm gonna show to my daughter. She was awake, so we're like, hey, look, what do you think about these photos? Like, why don't you show me this again? Like, mom just posted like 5 hours ago. Like, what? Like, yeah, she just posted the same photo. Like, we just took it with the phone. So we are fighting with AI, with artificial intelligence. We live in a very interesting moment where everybody, even our mothers, are photographers. And it does mean nothing. Photographers, artists, videographers, content creators, we have a vision. The three of us, I think we've been trying to inspire you guys to think out of the box, to find stories, go to Greenland and bring create the whole expedition to go there, or find inspiration in the classics and create all these things, make it happen, take the risk, take the step. Don't look into if you're better or worse than other photographers, or this is what you have to do because somebody did it and got very successful. Find your own voice, find your own style, find the things that you like. Don't worry so much. Ideas are timeless. Concepts, your own way of seeing the world, it will be timeless. It doesn't matter if it's through photography, through a drawing, through going underwater, going in the sky. Believe in yourself and your own ideas and make it happen. Fight for it. Don't compare yourself too much. Don't be too hard on yourself. I think we are all good enough. Okay. Throwing it there.
Nice tip, hey. Any from Tobias or Bastian?
Yeah. I can't add anything to this paper. Yeah, you basically made a very good point here. Yeah. I also like what Bastian said actually before, which is very true, is that you can be inspired through life, through everything. Yeah, so it doesn't need to be photos. It can also be art. It can be a painting. It can be architecture. Anything. Yeah, if you go out into your life with open eyes and see the world, and then you can also take nice pictures of the world. And the worst thing what can happen to you is that you don't like the picture and you just delete it. Yeah, so don't be too feared to not make a good picture. Yeah, if you don't try it, you won't get it.
Yeah, I will add one thing. I think there is part of investment which is needed. If you take someone to Greenland, it will cost you money. Also, if you have some sponsor, it will cost you time, like doing tango or no matter what. But I think it's also part of the game. It's you can create some time without taking some risk and say, okay, I take time. Like 2 days ago, I spent 3 hours in the dark water with Mobulari, and finally I have great shots. But I invest time. Spending 3 hours, but after 3 hours, Mobula start to be friendly, as you say, Pepe, because you are in FreeDiving, and the connections start to be great. So investment can be money, can be time, can be also friends. If you worry about finding someone to take picture, believe me, you say, I want to take picture of someone, you will find people, oh, I'm ready to do it for free and just for fun. So yes, you need to take some risk, some investment, and let's try. And as you say, Tobias, is very true. You take picture, you don't like it, it's okay. You delete it and you try again and again and again until you start to feel, oh, it start to be cool. And what is cool today, probably you will look at it in 1 year and you will say, oh, it's crap. But it's okay. It's you have to start to be satisfied with what you are doing and stop to compare yourself with others. It's just you are worthy, as you say, Pepe, and And yes, take risk. Take risk. There's no risk.
That's great. Right, guys. So I think I'm gonna wrap up this session. I hope you guys, everybody that watched today, our today show, enjoy very much. There's a lot of stories there. I hope we could give you a little bit of a glimpse of our world, which is very interesting to get to know you guys. For me personally as well, I always enjoy to listen to how you make things. It's amazing. I never stop learning from you guys. And thank you, Tobias. That's good to see you. It's been a while. We need to go back in China and
yeah, for sure.
Have a drink.
Yeah.
Bastian, amazing to meet you, and hope we can dive together soon somewhere if the world gets back to normal or not, or now, whatever. And please don't just keep sharing everything. Okay, keep sharing. Forget about also the likes of Instagram and social media. Keep sharing your incredible work. So congratulations for being tough. And thank you for sharing with all of us, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Pepe, for wrapping things up, and thank you our speakers, Bastian, Tobias, and also last but not least, Pepe. Thank you for your time, your sharing, all the tips and wonderful photography that you share on our live webinar for our monthly photography session. Again, this title for this month, February monthly photography session, is Through the Lens Freediving Photography in association with our Scuba Diver Australasia. And of course, we have our Scuba Diver Australasia, both digital and printed copy, which you can grab yourself a copy through our underwater360.asia website and subscribe to it if you like our work, and to support all our contributors that contribute their timeless effort into making underwater photography amazing piece of art. Okay, last but not least, before I end this session, we have our upcoming session on the 3rd of March. Okay, 3rd of March, the monthly photography session. Again, the title that we'll be covering and discussing and talking about will be the big animals. So anything big underwater. So stay tuned, and thanks again, Pepe, Tobias, and Bastian. Have a nice week ahead.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Bye. See you physically soon in Singapore.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yes.
It's about time.
Yes, it's about time. Okay. See ya.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.